Swamp Rebellion.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
All right, so we're big into sci-fi, whether it be movies or science reality. We've been following SpaceX and Elon Musk for a while now. Have you guys heard about the most recent space launch attempt on Thursday by any chance, or no?
No, what happened?
Okay, so this is going to be the first historic flight where SpaceX, up until recently...
Wait a minute, you said happened on Thursday or will happen on Thursday?
It did not happen on Thursday, and I'm going to explain why, but this is what is historical about it. This is the first time in over 11 years that the USA will send men back in space. Men and women back in space. This is the first time that's...
To do?
Basically, to return to the International Space Station to perform research, but also lay down the foundation for manned missions to Mars.
So this has nothing to do with NASA?
No, this is a private company because ever since the Obama administration, NASA has then been retooled for climate research studies. So, that being said, on Thursday, SpaceX was going to send up 2 astronauts into space, but unfortunately, due to weather and safety regulations, they had to scrub the launch. This coming Saturday, man will return to space, International Space Station, U.S. astronauts.
That's fucking awesome, I think.
To do what?
Again, like I mentioned...
Again, just to check shit out. But the thing is, you know what's the good thing about it? It's not costing taxpayer dollars. I love it.
It's a private company going to space. This like I mentioned, this is going to do one and or two things: laying down the foundation to finally having manned missions to Mars, also commercializing space flights for passengers. And here's the crazy thing as well too. I saw a side-by-side photo comparison of the shuttle that's been in service since mid to late 70s and retired recently. Inside the cockpit, very minimum viewing space, nothing but computers all over the place. If you look inside the Dragon, the SpaceX rocket where we actually have our astronauts in, it's nothing but 3 touchscreen monitors, and it's all computer based as opposed to a bunch of buttons and knobs.
Yeah, it's come a long way because of alien technology.
Man, I would hate to see a Windows blue screen of death
Transistors and
during
microchips.
re-entry. That's all I'm saying.
Please.
Gotta have me, my transistors and microchips.
So wait, we gotta get back to space and MS-DOS.
Exactly. But like, to be fair, you know, we do poke fun of Windows operating system a lot. It's equivalent of getting a giant beach ball of death for Mac OS as well too, because like I said, just to be fair, it's like I said, there's no manual control other than these touch screens, because like if you ever get your touch screen, you know, your smartphone wet and you're trying to push a button or an icon, that shit ain't gonna work. All right, so heaven forbid these touch screens aren't responsive. You punching is only gonna break it, and that's
Hopefully
not
using like
warranty.
a Samsung Tab A.
No, see,
or can you imagine? They got this $1 billion rocket going into space, right? And all of the fucking touchpads are like Kindle Fire 7s or some shit like that.
From 3 years ago.
but
A 2013 prototype for the Amazon Fire tablet.
And here's the cool thing, though. It's like, while there's only 2 astronauts in the cockpit at the time, like when it was a no-go for launch, the stage 1 rocket was already full of rocket fuel, like liquid hydrogen and nitrogen. And because they did a no-go for launch, the guys had to stay on board for additional 45 minutes till everything is offloaded before they can take off their helmets or disengage the probe. The probe is basically the tower on top of the rocket. In case of emergency, this has been in place since the Apollo days and the Gemini days, that if an accident was to occur on the pad, the astronauts can literally blast off in the capsule that they're in and drop into ocean as a safety precaution if something was to happen. So while the fuel is being offloaded, the secondary rockets are enabled, and once the fuel is dispensed, like, okay, you can disengage the capsule. In the past, you had to switch all these knobs and shit like that in the cockpit. This motherfucker, all he did was swipe right. That's
It was like a Tinder app for the SpaceX.
pretty much.
Space Exploration Tinder. What planet do we want to see today? Pluto? No. That's not a planet anymore anyway. Catfished.
Pluto is the catfish planet. Poor little bastard.
You got them Venus herpes, though.
That's why they make that catfish lube. It's on the dark side of Pluto.
So yeah, very exciting time for the American space program, whether it be like federally funded or privately funded. It is going to lay down the foundation for a new exploration as well.
I like what SpaceX is doing. I like that they're giving people the option to take that risk, and not on our money. Like I'm saying, it's privately funded. So, dude, if you wanna strap wings to your ass and try and jump off a cliff, I don't give a shit as long as I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, I kind of
I'd chip in. I'd chip in a low for that. Like if you said, "Hey, dude, everybody give me $5. I'm gonna make me some wings and jump off this cliff," I was like, "All right."
This sounds like a Red Bull energy competition in San Fran. It's like, hey, like
I'm making it out of real feathers and toothpicks.
it's like, okay,
brother.
we're having like a gliding competitions in San Fran. I'm like, make your shitty flying machine and see who can fall the farthest.
They should do that all down the West Coast.
Well, it's seasonal. They gotta get time for the population to repopulate accordingly.
Little rock jumping. Everybody, come on. Yeah, we're gonna cliff jump
Off of Yosemite.
Yeah, there's no water at the bottom, but it's okay because you're gonna fly.
Mm-hmm. Fly like an eagle in his wings. It's the same thing with what I said from the beginning regarding before COVID became hashtag trending. Protest in Hong Kong. Then all of a sudden, COVID's been the hot topic since December all the way till recently. Then the riots started. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to see this as a new stage of seasons. Fuck summer, spring, fall, winter. We got COVID, hornets, and riots.
What's next?
That's the question.
Johnny Tsunami makes a comeback.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not religious by any means, but like, if you look at the Book of Revelations, you know, they got that shit going on, you know.
Yeah, and we talked about it last time on our show that the sun is in a dormant stage. So with that happening, you know, in the Book of Revelations, it says that the sun turns black and the moon turns red.
And the dead be rising from the grave.
And that sun turning black is coming sooner than later, I think.
So what if, I'm not trying to make light of the subject. I know this will probably be edited out later, but we've all seen the show Walking Dead, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if COVID was the stage 1 transformation process of Walking Dead?
I could actually see that. I can see that. COVID zombie.
So the seasons of 2020 instead of spring, summer, fall, winter is now going to be COVID, hornets, riots, and zombie apocalypse.
And Walking Dead.
Well, that falls under zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, but I want to call it that. Like, they're not going to care what we call it.
Dude, I already told you guys.
I just hope that scientists really are smart as they think they are. Or
that's a trick.
That Elon Musk isn't going to like clam up at, you know, the last second and not tell us when the sun's gonna. I think he knows like when the sun's gonna explode and like incinerate us. I just want to be high and a little drunk, and I want to know down to the second so that when I'm jacking off, I can nut when I incinerate.
Well, here's a peace of mind for you. All right, it takes about 8 minutes from the light and heat from the sun to reach Earth.
Oh shit! So I got to start like 2 minutes in.
2 minutes in, exactly.
And I'm going to have a Rocket Man blaring while I'm stroking it in the backyard, waiting for the gamma rays to hit me.
I was going to actually say Jimi Hendrix cover of Watchtower. But, yeah, Rocket Man will suffice as well, too, but to each their own.
Elton John would be proud.
It's like Elton John pops up. It's like, did someone say sodomy? He's like, not like that, Elton, not like that.
No, sir. No, sir. I'm just jacking off to one of your songs, man. Don't worry about it. Have a cold day in hell.
It's like, it's Rocket Man, you fucker, not Whack It Man.
I don't know. If you're on William Hung, it is.
Oh, shit.
I'm a Whack It Man.
So, let me end this statement by saying we do not condone violence. We do support peaceful protest, but riots and looting, setting fire to businesses that cause people who are already struggling enough through these times already to lose their jobs, we do not support that whatsoever. And for those that do, go fuck yourself. Next topic.
And not to mention, Like I said, if you want to burn down the police department, that's kind of a Gotham thing to do. But, like, it has nothing to do with anything else. Like, that's so fucking random.
Shit.
To, like, just start goddamn burning down and looting other shit. And then, y'all was stealing random shit. Y'all were like, yo, you know what? I'm stealing this mannequin. Like, the dude, the mannequin man, he was, like, stealing all the mannequins. They were like, what are you going with this mannequin? I'm going to fuck him. I don't know. Like,
Trannikins.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna. It's like he saw.
Trannikin Skywalk. He's like, I'm gonna dress it up like Christian Haydenson and make sweet love to it.
That's unfortunate.
Dude.
Shout out to PETA, not sponsored.
No, never gonna be sponsored by PETA. We want our Happy Meals to have toys in them. God damn it.
PETA will make all your happy meals and the sad meals. Think about that, you vegan mom whores.
Unhappy Meals. Give little Timmy his pudding back. Fuck the apple slices, you
It's got maggots
bastards.
in the pudding. Mm-hmm. There goes your unhappy meal, asshole.
It builds character.
Bro, they open it up. There's like nothing divided. It's just a block of tofu just sitting in the bottom of the box. The box has nothing on it.
Here's what pisses
And
me
the
off.
box is made of this biodegradable paper.
Yeah, recycled material, yeah.
Yeah, and it falls apart so quickly, so that way if it falls in the ocean, fish can eat it.
Here's the thing that pisses me off about
Trash.
other than trash, like the liberal media. They're talking about alternative healthy foods to feed to our children. Keep in mind, I don't have kids. They're, instead of peanut butter and jelly, crackers, or any type of other healthy snacks you'll give your kids lunch, they're talking about, oh, if your kid has a peanut allergy, because congratulations, you gave birth to a defective child.
Edamame.
Give them something with avocado in it. Okay, first off, time out. That sounds great if you're an adult. When it comes to the palate of a child in terms of taste, of like, okay, show me a kid who wants onion, who wants a supreme pizza versus a cheese only or pepperoni pizza. All right, no child's gonna fucking eat avocado.
If that's all they have to eat, they will.
No, they won't.
If you put them in a room full of avocados and give them a knife and say, eat, motherfucker, and that's all you feed them, they'll eat.
Not in today's society, though.
How would they even know?
Again, not without a smartphone. They won't know what to do.
I'm just saying, like, no kid's palate would handle it, but they would if that's all they had. If you're in a third world country that doesn't have a smartphone and all they have is avocados, they're going to eat that fucking avocado.
No,
See-
Mom, I want McDonald's.
See, my money's on the kid that's gonna turn his spork into a shank and just resort to full-fledged cannibalism. That's gonna be our next president, folks.
I eat a little bit of myself, and then I'll let it heal. And then I eat a little bit more of myself, and then I'll let it heal.
And he is great because his carbon footprint is a minimum at the best.
Yeah, I mean, that's
His
what.
footprint is at a minimum.
Exactly. Like all you got is 2 toes left and maybe a chunk of heel.
Well, see, that's what vampires do. They feed on their victims, and they don't bleed them to death because they want them to bounce back so they can feed on them again. So he just does that to himself.
It's like those Stepford wives that marry those old cats, and then they slowly poison them over time, so they can also feel good about taking care of them while they're dying.
I actually had this like a crazy vision of a gold member from the Austin Powers movies. Like, give me the skin box. Sorry, her. Then he eats his own skin. That's kind of like the equivalent of what you're talking
My
about.
stink is gold.
Gold.
How is it that there's white privilege in this country when Asian Americans are the richest motherfuckers in the goddamn country? Where's Asian American privilege coming from?
Bruce Lee.
Because white Americans ain't got the privilege, Nag. It's the Asians.
It's coming from tea ties.
In the mall?
Yeah,
Oh, that bourbon chicken.
shit.
You're right. You're right.
that's
bourbon
where
chicken.
That's where it comes.
I thought it was like Shady Walk or something.
Rip tea ties.
from. Yeah, no man.
Damn.
The show's good.
Bourbon chicken's where it's at.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
When I was a little kid, I went on a date over there with a girl from my church. And I thought it was a date. I told everybody it was a date, but it wasn't.
She just went to the mall and get some Chinese.
Yeah, and she was fat.
Chickadee
anyway,
China, the
so she didn't
Chinese
come,
chicken.
So it was just me. And
Damn.
like-
It was.
and well, it was me and like one of my friends, but he didn't know he was my friend. I just met him in there.
He was in there already,
Yeah.
and your mom.
He was eating the same.
Your mom was
It was actually
shopping.
my grandma.
Yeah, your
And
grandma.
my grandma was talking to the Chinese lady. very loudly, because apparently that's what helps talking to Asian people, is you just talk louder than them and say, I love your egg rolls.
Especially if there's a language barrier
and you gotta
involved.
slow it down too, because I didn't know this, but Asians don't understand English, and they're also retarded. So you have to speak slow and clear and loud to them so they understand that I don't know what it is in your fried rice, but it's delish. Rest in peace, T-Ties.
You're missed. Yeah, that's right.
You are missed. And also, Chinese chef in Matthews, Louisiana is dead forever.
Dude.
She
What,
has
the actual chef?
retired. No, she retired, and she did not leave it to any of her kids, because
They no good for nothing. Son of a bitch, me.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, bro.
Is that the
God.
name of our kids?
dude, there was no better Chinese in the world. There's two places where I've had outstanding Chinese food. Chinese chef in Matthews, Louisiana, rest in peace, and at Nine Dragons at Disney World, a 5-star restaurant. That was amazing.
To stack chefs up against a 5-star, you know.
I'm telling you,
It
dude.
says a lot.
And I've eaten, and you know me, dude. I eat food all over the world, right? At least in this quadrant of it. At least overseas, you know, things like that.
Where you
whatever.
can.
Yeah, where I can.
Yeah.
And I've eaten a lot of food in this country, and a lot of Asian food. And I've been to like Boston. I've been to like Chinatown, and I've done all these things. And yeah, it's good, but it wasn't Chinese chef. And then I realized something recently too. I don't really care for Chinese food. I'm starting to like Japanese people more and more. I love yakisoba. I love it, dude. I could bathe in yakisoba noodles, especially with some beef in there and some onions and some carrots. I love this shit.
That's the
Get some
tic-tic
yum
ones,
yums.
right?
yeah.
The tic-tic noodles?
Yeah, the
Oh.
tic-tic. Let me tell you something, babe. You put that in with the chopstick. I made my own chopsticks out of Booskill knees. What I did was I took the Booskill and I carved it out a little bit. I made me a fork, and I just used that as a chopstick with everything I eat me, you know? But, not only like Japanese food, I like Japanese wrestling.
Dude, did you see that one that our old buddy Halen sent us the other
Halen
day?
hooked us up with a video. Japanese WWE.
You're gonna love this, by the way.
So what was the Ronald McDonald?
Okay. So.
Oh, you studied it. You studied it.
Yeah.
No, he understands this,
I
which
get it.
is great.
I get it.
The only part I understood is when the girl. So there's how many guys are in the ring? You think?
I think it was 5.
And one girl.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This is
So-
sausage fest, yeah.
Go ahead and set this up, and then I want to talk about what the girl did.
So, at first, looks like your standard wrestling match, right? You got a guy and another dude, and they're both wearing some Speedos.
Your standard Asian wrestling match.
And all of a sudden, you're like, hey, wait a second. These guys aren't like 9 feet tall, 700 pounds. They're kind of small. Oh, wait, they're Asian dudes.
They're like 4 feet tall, too.
So, they're fairly jacked for Asians.
So it's a real midget wrestling.
Yeah.
it's kind of like if midget wrestling had a weight class, these would be the Mevy weights.
It would be the Mevy weight.
That's awesome.
It would be if you had several Wolverine-style people in...
5'2".
Yeah, exactly. But
Hence the shirt.
But thick, right? So
Thick
all of
Wolverine.
a sudden, out of nowhere, you see this masked clown run from the outro into the ring, and he looks exactly like Ronald McDonald, but Asian form. Now, he runs, slides under the ropes like the coolest way possible, like a slithery little snake, like, and then he's into the ring. Something's off though, because he immediately goes to grab one of the dudes and he reaches for his dick instead.
Oh shit.
Classic pro wrestling move.
Right. The dick is a very, very weak spot, as most males know, and females, I would hope, right? And anyone in between, whatever. The dick is a weak spot. It's not normally catered to in a wrestling match in America, but this particular match,
or even touched.
right? It's not even there. You might as well just have the Ken doll situation,
Right.
But it really comes in handy
When you're Japanese wrestling.
when you're in a Japanese wrestling match, because apparently you could grab for it and do that wrestling stomp the ground move, you know, like
Just by holding it.
just by holding it, and then you immediately go to the oh shit, someone's touching my dick. No, that's not it. That's what you would think, but it's automatically like a move that they're expecting
Yeah.
to touch on my bird,
Right.
my little Japanese
But this
wiener.
is the part that kind of bothered me about that. So the one guy grabs the other dude, and it wasn't like an aggressive way. It was more like a, here's aggressiveness, but once you get to it,
It's real
now I'm
soft.
just gonna play with it.
It's real soft.
And then while he had the dude started pinching his own nipples, and then two other little Asians ran at him from the side, and before they could touch him while they were flailing, he reached over and cupped both of their balls lightly and patted them with the tips of his fingers, like spirit fingered this nigga's balls.
And it stunned both of them so heavily that they stopped right in their tracks, and it put them in a daze where they were getting their balls feathered. And
nobody notices the really, really stacked Asian girl in the bikini in the corner trying to fight the gay Asian midgets.
the gay Asian Ronald McDonald.
Ronald McDonald midgets.
So he goes up to the woman because the other dude shoved him that way, and she really wants to fight him, but all he does, like you would think that he would grab her in a weird way, right? All he does is like slap the shit out of her face and kicks her away from him, and he gets to the other dude that was holding her back and touches on his dick.
And he starts drumming it like a speed bag.
Not only that, when he goes up to her and she wants to fight, the way she wants to fight him is she grabs both of her tits, pushes them out, and then squeezes them together and shakes them like a lure. Like, you're supposed to grab my tits, you're supposed, and he doesn't.
Unfazed.
He's like, oh no, there's a dick over there that I must touch.
Unfazed.
Now, just to be fair, he didn't want to be part of the whole Me Too movement, so he avoided the lure. He just dodged.
He dick dugged him.
He dick ducked him, dodged.
So in the midst of this dude jerking off all these guys on stage, right?
Which is a legal pro wrestling move in Japan wrestling, by the way.
And it also is legal to do to a local band out in the yard.
So he decides to bust up his next move, which is bend them over and pretend fuck them in the ass. When the other wrestler figures this out and has had this move performed on him, he reverses it, but the McDonald's dude loves it. He wants that move to happen.
So he offers it.
So he's getting fucked in the ass, but also jerking off the other guys like a piston on the other side of the ring.
Question.
Yes.
So during this video, since the guy is now on all fours, bent over, do you think that he is clenching his ass cheeks where the guy can no longer move while he's holding the other guy hostage?
That's his reversal.
That's a reverse.
The dude offers it up, bro.
He a hoe. He a hoe.
The weirdest thing to me, though, is just how lightly they couple the balls, dude. That is such a... Because then you're looking at... Okay, so first it's 1-on-1. Then it's 1-on-3.
Yeah.
Technically, it's 1-on-1-on-2. And then next thing you know, it's 1-on-girl on 1-on-1. No girl. Then it was fucking... circle jerk for 5. And she watched in the corner like a cook.
So I think it's fair to say that he is great, and I mean absolutely spectacular for group jobs.
Absolutely. Think about it this way: if you had like a Lollapalooza backyard band thing where they had five bands on stages in an octagon around you, he could run off, and Ronald McDonald, Japanese, could jack them all off at the same time. Thank you for listening to Dank Swamp Rebellion. Check us out on dsrtalks.com.
The dick is a weak spot.